As long as we have to until the threat is over, I'd be willing to bet we don't see another tornado warning tonight. It's just, this is the one thing we were concerned about, a low tornado threat. And usually one storm can find a way to rotate, and that is what has happened here. East of Arkansas Highway 11, if you're just joining me and expecting to see our 10 p.m. news, we have a tornado warning in effect for a part of Arkansas County, which does include DeWitt, it includes Berks, and it includes a large section of central Arkansas County. And we're just tracking a large area of rotation east of Arkansas Highway 11 and right now south of US 165. I think that a brief tornado may have been produced or could be produced from this area of rotation as it moves towards DeWitt. I'd love for this to just be over an open field if it does happen to produce a tornado, and certainly we want to keep this thing away from DeWitt. The tornadoes today, the tornado threat today rather, is on the very low side. And that's been great. This area of rotation is completely embedded in an area of rain. And now that we've gotten past sunset, this would be nearly impossible to see. However, though, do know a storm chaser down there that's headed that direction. So if something is happening, perhaps we'll be able to get you some information very quickly. There were some storms down in southeast Arkansas earlier, which rotated and may have even produced a brief tornado in Ashley County. A couple of those storms had some rotation at times, but this is by far the strongest area of rotation we have seen on radar today. Looking further towards the east, there's DeWitt right there. There's the airport just to the southeast of DeWitt. There's US 165 going towards the south of DeWitt. There is US 165 going towards the west. And this is just a slow-moving area of rotation embedded in rain where we could get a brief tornado. And still, scan after scan, the radar scan updates every 2.5 minutes or so, there's reason to be concerned for a brief tornado. Now, this tornado warning is in effect until 10:30, which would take us through the entirety of our 10 p.m. newscast. And so if that is the case, if this warning remains in effect, we will not be having a 10 p.m. newscast. However, if this warning gets canceled in advance, we will give you a shortened version of our 10 p.m. newscast. The area of rotation that we're watching continues to be embedded in a large area of heavy rain and possibly some high wind as well. Between Lodge Corner and Berks and DeWitt, nobody should be driving on that stretch of highway right now, especially if you're towards the south of Berks. You want to let this thing pass. You want to make sure you get inside and just briefly, I mean, we're talking 10 to 15 minutes if you're in the area where the area of rotation is right now. Just briefly go into your tornado safe place. Again, away from windows. Get away from windows. You're not going to see this thing. No chance of seeing this thing embedded in heavy rain like this. So the only way you would see it is if you were in it, and you certainly don't want to see it. So this type of tornado likely going to be very efficient at doing tree or roof damage. And so this rotation, which is slowly moving towards DeWitt. There's it in motion. It's now moving a little bit more to the east-northeast. And over just the last 20 minutes, you see it was a little bit stronger over the far western section of Arkansas County. Now it's a little bit more broad, and when I say that, you see these red colors and these green colors real close together as it moves towards the northeast a little bit further apart, and that's a better sign that perhaps we do not have a tornado. Still, the storm is rotating. That's why the tornado warning is in effect. The good people at the National Weather Service feel strongly that the storm could possibly produce a brief tornado, and so we'll stick with it until there is no threat for a tornado. It's been a very quiet, very, very quiet year so far for tornadoes in Arkansas, and hopefully this storm chooses not to produce a tornado. The latest scan showing a little bit more weakening there in the area of rotation. Still, we're looking at winds going towards the radar, winds going away from the radar, and there is your area of rotation right there. Again, we're just south of US 165, and I'll go street by street for those of you that are in this region. We're just to the west of DeWitt. If you're on East Woodson Road, there's rotation. Hopefully it's above you. South Kennedy Road, East Woodson Road, and there's US 165 moving into the town of Berks. This is just a broad area of rotation, which at the base of this storm, embedded within that heavy rain, could produce a brief tornado. And in situations like today, tornadoes usually are not on the ground for anything more than just a few minutes. So hopefully if a tornado gets down, that would be the case here. It wouldn't be on the ground very long. I want to show you some pictures from earlier of the storms that were in southeast Arkansas. Storm chaser Cameron Williams sent this one from Fountain Hill in Ashley County. That's a wall cloud right there. Earlier in this storm in Ashley County, we had a funnel cloud come out of that and possibly produce a tornado. No damage was reported. It was a tornado that did no damage, or it was in a field. Then later on, Cameron Williams captures this. This is one of the storms down there at Sunset. A good structure on that. The wall clouds you see there, not as well defined. And then another storm chaser, Cody Holmes. All these guys from Arkansas. That's at Montrose in Ashley County as well. And that is kind of the storm that we were dealing with earlier today. This by far is the strongest storm of the day, and it is the only one that has even had a severe thunderstorm or a tornado warning. We still have a broad area of rotation, and the National Weather Service at the current time electing to continue the tornado warning, even though the rotation has weakened ever so slightly. I'd say there's been a little bit of weakening. However, if you're in DeWitt, those of you in the central part of Arkansas County, stay with it just a little bit longer. Stay in your tornado safe place. We're going to see if this strengthens and gives a little bit more concern for a tornado, or if it continues to weaken. If it continues to weaken, well, then the tornado warning will be canceled, and we can give you the all clear for the night. Now, right now, if you're in Berks, the area of rotation is getting very close to US 165 at Berks, just to the west of DeWitt. Make sure that you are in your tornado safe place. Your loved ones are in their tornado safe place. You see road by road here. This is a couple of the roads that are going to be impacted, or could be impacted rather. Of course, the area of strongest rotation is very close to East Woodson Road. And right now, I would still call this rotation broad. Doesn't look like it's a very strong area of rotation. Earlier, in the south part of Arkansas County, I think we may have had a tornado a few hours ago, closer to Sunset. And what it was is there were a couple of very, very tight radar scans where you had very strong winds at the base of the storm. I think that could have produced a tornado. Now, this is a little bit wider. You see how wide the circulation is. Doesn't mean we couldn't be having a weak tornado, but it certainly means the likelihood is a little bit less, which is great news for those of you in Berks or DeWitt. Still, it is a dangerous thunderstorm. It is a rotating thunderstorm, tornado or not right now. And everyone, if that's in Berks or DeWitt, your job is to be in your tornado safe place at least for the next 10 minutes for you. For those of you in Berks, maybe 15 minutes in DeWitt, depending on what this storm does as it moves off towards the east-northeast. This is now well east of Lodge Corner. And if you're along Arkansas 276 there south of Lodge Corner, you have the all clear. You guys are free to, I think the back edge of the storms is now through those areas. You guys are free to go to bed. The area of rotation that we're watching, we should be getting a new scan on the radar here momentarily. The National Weather Service telling us that if this warning, or if this area of rotation continues to weaken, they are going to cancel this warning. And so what I will do here is I will just show kind of what has happened over the last 20 minutes. And there is another weakened scan. You see there, right there, this is a really good way to tell when you have rotation, it's strong, and then the rotation begins to weaken as it approaches Berks. So if there was a brief tornado, it would be most likely near or just west of Arkansas Highway 11. And now the rotation, you see it there, the colors beginning to get a little bit darker, the rotation beginning to get a little bit wider. That is a sign that the area of rotation has weakened. And this is as it is approaching DeWitt and as it is approaching Berks. That's a really good sign. A new severe thunderstorm warning is being issued now for areas further towards the east into the eastern sections of Arkansas County. That's going to include St. Charles. That is going to be for hail less than an inch and for 60-mile-per-hour winds. I think high winds will be a threat in this. I want to let our news department know that we're going to be going back into our newscast. As soon as this tornado warning is canceled, we'll be going into a commercial break. We will come back with Channel 7 News at 10, except it's about 10:15. So this is just first tornado warning we have had in a long while. Hopefully no tornado was produced. We have good news for those of you that are in DeWitt. The area of rotation just has rapidly weakened here in the last couple of minutes. I thought that might happen. The low threat for tornadoes today include a threat for brief tornadoes. These things don't hold together long, and it was together for sure just south of Lodge Corner and right along Arkansas Highway 11, that north-south highway there. But as it has moved further towards the east, it has really started to fall apart, and there it is. DeWitt, you are no longer under tornado warning. It is a severe thunderstorm warning. Could certainly see some high winds moving in just to the south of Elmira and then towards DeWitt. The storm certainly is still going to pack a punch, but at least for the moment, the tornadic danger from this thunderstorm is over. And with that, we're going to go to a commercial break. We'll be right back with Channel 7 News at 10.
Channel 7 News is sponsored by Crawl Space Solutions.
The Memorial Day event at Cost Plus Furniture Warehouse starts now with special buys store-wide on today's designer trends at our low warehouse price. And the best part, you never pay full retail again, only at Cost Plus Furniture Warehouse.
Hi, I'm John Cossey with Crawl Space Solutions of Arkansas. You know, the all things crawl spacey and basementy guy. Do you have a wet basement or a nasty, moldy crawl space? Then you probably need one or more of our 31 patented products. Our foundation, crawl space, and basement repair solutions will provide your family with a stable, comfortable, and healthier home from the ground up. So call Crawl Space Solutions of Arkansas today for all things crawl spacey and basementy.